This video will focus on writing expressions from word problems that use more than one operation. But first, we're going to start off a little more simple than that. So if we're asked to subtract 4 from 9, we know the answer would be 5. And in order to do that, did we do 4 minus 9, or did we do 9 minus 4? If we do 4 minus 9, that would give us negative 5. So we did 9 minus 4. So when we did subtract 4 from 9, we wrote the 9 first, and we subtracted 4. So if we had the sentence subtract 4 from H, we would start with an H and then subtract 4, minus 4. How would we use that if we have more than one operation? Here we only had one, subtraction. How about this one? What if we had to subtract 4 from H, which is what we just did, but then add 5 to the result? So we're going to do H minus 4, and then add 5. H minus 4, and then add 5. We would do this from left to right, and the order of operations would be fine. If you wanted to really highlight the fact that you need to do H minus 4 first, you could put it in parentheses to say focus on this part first, and then add 5. But you don't have to have them in here. How about question 2? Write an expression for this sequence of operations described below are increased by the sum of 2 and s. What does the word sum mean? Sum is like saying addition. So are increased by the sum of 2 and s. The word increased is also telling us to do addition. Increasing meaning plus, positive. So r is increased. So we're starting with r and then we're adding by the sum of 2 and s. So we're adding the sum of 2 and s is like saying 2 plus s put together. We don't have to have parentheses here either, but we can if we want. Example 3, what if we had raised the difference of 3 and s to the 7th power? So what does the word difference mean? Difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So we need the difference of 3 and s. So we're going to subtract 3 and s. And then we need to raise that to the 7th power. We're raising that whole thing to the 7th power, so here we have to have parentheses. We're not just raising the 3 to the 7th power. We're not just raising the negative s to the 7th power. We're raising that whole thing to the power of 7. And to get this little superscript up here, our exponent, we can click on this button, a to the b. All right. So we said sum means to add, difference means to subtract, product means you're multiplying, and quotient means you are dividing. Keeping that in mind, we'll just do 2 more examples together. B plus the product of 5 and 2. So B plus, then it says the product of 5 and 2. Product meant multiply. So we're multiplying 5 and 2. Whoops. We could also write that, we know what 5 times 2 is, it's 10. So we could just write this as B plus 10. Either of those are correct. And lastly, question 5. What if we had to write an expression for this? Add V to the quotient of W and U. Quotient meant divide. So we're going to take W and divide it by U, and then we're adding V. W divided by U, then we're adding V. Whoops. This is important because if I left it like this and added the v here in the denominator, that would be a different expression. It would mean something else. It's asking us for the quotient of w and u. So that is this fraction right here. W divided by u. That's the quotient of w and u. And it's asking us to add v and the quotient. So we can do v plus this, or we could say the quotient and then add v at the end. Either one works.